Excited. Thursday afternoon, finished our third practice. We've had really three really good days. Maybe probably the three best days we've had this year so far. I think that shows your kids are growing up a little bit, and again, like I said, I expect to see some improvement from week 2 to week 3. But just looking forward to the game. A lot of mental preparation, physical preparation's done, and we're excited to go. So, it'll be interesting. Questions?
Pat, you talked on Monday about if we're going to go on the bus and go up there. You did this a couple of years ago, but sort of how does your game day and pre-game day plan change when you're making a road trip that's only a few hours? And sort of how does it work when you're just going to go up there for the day, or are you going to spend the night?
Oh yeah, we're leaving tomorrow at noon.
Okay.
We'll have plenty of time. We'll go to the stadium, we'll go to the locker room, check it out, let our kids see where they're going to be so they can put their heads on the pillow and visualize where they're going to be and where they're making plays and what they're doing. So it's a road trip. It's a road trip period. We stay in a hotel every Friday night period. That's what we do. So it's not a big deal.
Doing anything differently than you did 2 years ago from a logistical standpoint?
Yeah, logistically, because I'm superstitious. Last time we went to Altoona High School and worked out. This time we'll do all our work right here in our facility, and then we'll head to the hotel.
You guys stopped on the way on that Friday?
Yeah, last time.
Okay.
Yeah, so we won't do that this year. That's the only thing different.
We kind of settled on a running back rotation now with Davis and
Malik,
yeah, sorry.
Sibley, who knows? Not really. I mean, I think you're going to start to see the two Davis guys go first. But again, we're just going to find out who's making plays. If Sibley comes in and starts to run it like crazy, then we'll go with him. Malik, who knows? We're going to play the hot hand and the guy that looks like he's ready to roll. And we talk all the time about getting your mind right and being ready to go. But sometimes, one guy's got his mind a little bit cleaner than the other guy. So it's how do they sleep? Did you stare at your phone from bed check at 10 p.m. to midnight? I don't know what you did. How did you sleep? Who's going? But hopefully we can have a three-headed monster back there and run three guys, and and they're both doing well. That's a good problem.
How about freshmen in that environment and that kind of pressure?
There's pressure every game. I don't worry about Vince. He's played in 2 games already. Obviously, the last 2 plays of the opener, and I'm not worried about him. He's kind of made plays in games, and again, once the first play's over with, guys, it's just like playing anywhere else. I mean, it's what it is. It's a football game. Whether you've coached in it, played in it, it's one play that you might be nervous, and then it's like, let's go, and it's gone. So.
We had talked with you Monday, Pat, about whether you think Penn State should play every year. But I mean, as a coach, as a football fan, as someone who grew up pretty close to Western Pennsylvania, I mean, with it being over for the foreseeable future, I mean, is there a certain sadness that comes with it, or disappointment?
I'm not sad. I'm thinking about Saturday. I give a darn about what happens in the future. Control the controllables. I can't control it. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to be sad. I'm not going to cry. It's what it is. I mean, it's a shame, but I'm going to control. We got Penn State right now. That's all I'm worried about. I'm not worried about if we're going to play them in 10 years. Honest.
So where's the balance between making the players appreciate kind of what this game is, but also, trying to say, don't worry about who you're playing. You know what I mean? It's just another game. I mean, how do you balance revving them up, but not too much, I guess?
Well, again, this week has been about us, okay? Saturday becomes about the game. But the game is not being played on Tuesday's practice, Wednesday's practice, and Thursday's practice. So that's really how we balance it. It's just another game. The opponent changes on Saturday, and that's when we'll get them cranked up and ready to go. But and you don't want to get them cranked up too early. It's a game. They're going to do the same thing. It's what you do.
How does Penn State compare to the Barclay and McSorley teams that you've faced?
You know what? It's hard to say that when you're sitting back watching videotape. I think when you get them up live, I'll tell you after the game for sure. I'll give you. You just ask me a question after the game, I'll tell you. But we'll find out. I mean, I can tell you this: Barkley and Miles Sanders had experience at the tailback spot. They got 2 very talented. The Slade kid's a good football player. We'll find out how he plays in a big game, just like we'll find out how Vince plays. Same thing with Sean Clifford. We're going to find out. McSorley was a seasoned guy the last 2 years. It's not like he's a, so we're going to find out. That's all. Who knows?
You played a fairly challenging non-conference schedule every year you've been here, I think. What do you feel like your team, win or lose, gets out of these games where you're playing difficult competition early in the season?
Well, I think it's the same thing that Clemson gets out of it. I think we've talked about that before. When you're playing good competition, it's going to make you better. It hardens you. It prepares you for the future, I think. And again, it's another game this week. Obviously, it's a rival game, but it's another game in our path that helps us prepare for a run, at a championship, a division championship, and then move on from there. That's what it is. It prepares you. We're prepared right now to go into this game. I think we played a Virginia. We played two good teams. So I think it's preparing us to get to where even we are tomorrow.
Session here tomorrow morning before you hop on the bus. Is that just a walkthrough?
Yeah, just a walkthrough. Yeah.
The production you guys have had from the tight end position has obviously increased from what it was last year. Is that something that Kenny's doing different? Is that just Coach Whipple's offense, or is it those guys themselves just making plays now?
I'd say a little bit of both. If they drop more balls, that production will end real quick. Okay, if you don't get yards after the catch, it ends. Like I told you, I challenged Will Gregg. That's great. You caught the ball and you fell down. How about people bouncing off a tight end? That's what it's supposed to be when you watch those great tight ends. So if you want to be a great one, you got to make something happen with your feet. So and then all of a sudden they start to get some yak. But it's a combination. I think it's certainly the offense. I'd say it starts with Whipple and giving the tight ends the ability to catch the football. But then when your opportunities come up, you got to make plays. And they've dropped a couple, but they've made more catches here last week, and that was again a nice surprise.
Elias started week 1 at Mike, and then Chase starts week 2. What's the separation between kind of those two and Salim that Mike's spot?
Find out at game time. It's a good question. Like, who's going to be starting Mike, I guess, right? Who's going to start?
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know. We'll find out. That'll be an interesting one. Be fun to watch.
What did you, when you...
Jerry, why are you laughing up there?
Because I think you do know.
I know. I do know.
Well, you said I don't know.
I do know. But I know who's going to start. They don't know, and you don't know. But you'll find out.
How did Chase grade out, when you looked at the film from the game?
He graded out good. Wish it was better. But again, he's gone back and forth from the money position to Mike. It was okay. If he's the guy to start Saturday, you got to play better. So we'll challenge him.
When I asked him after the game kind of what went into that, he said that part of it had to do with Kylan playing well money. Is that kind of, you felt like you had the luxury to move Chase around a little bit?
Yeah, we got a guy that's solid there. You're not worried about, man, if Kylan doesn't play good, we got to put Chase in there. So we've kind of moved. We're just trying to get our 3 best backers on the field that are available at one point, and that's kind of what it is.
And final for Coach.
How has the offensive line looked in practice this week, and how do you think how prepared do you think they are for the challenge of facing that defensive line and guys like Chris Matos?
We'll find out. I think they've had a good week. Coach Borb's got them prepared. There's no task easy when you go out there. So it is going to be a line it's going to be a game that the lines have to play well. And, we always talk about being, up front. It's the O-line and D-line. It's going to be a challenge, period. It's going to be, that's where the matchup's going to be. And you got to win up front to win the football game. I have no question about that. So we've got to win that battle.
You talked earlier this week about handling crowd noise, silent counts. Do you have to put more emphasis on that in practice leading up, especially with an offense that's throwing the ball more than it has in previous years?
Yeah, there's no question about it. I don't think the passing or running has anything to do with the crowd noise. It's because once you get the snap, it starts to quiet down. Everybody's like watching the ball through the air, watching the guy run or get hit. But but it's a pre-snap. It's getting the ball off. It's getting the communication in the huddle. As you line up communication with the O-line, D-line. Those are all things that we've got to get good at. We've practiced that, in camp. We practiced it this week. So, can't believe you guys didn't ask any signal questions. Were you guys sleeping?
They changed their signals.
They changed their signals?
Yeah.
They did?
He said that on Tuesday.
That's what I heard.
Yeah. The day Patricia got here, they changed it.
Yeah. So let's just talk about that for 1 second, just so I can get this off my chest. First of all, again, John's 21 years old. I haven't said anything about, they have Eric Thatcher at their place, right? He sat in the defensive meeting rooms for 2 years. Do you guys know that? So Eric Thatcher's in recruiting. I'm sure he's a ball coach this week, trying to fill him in on what we do. So, I think, 35-year-old or a 21-year-old guy that's been playing one position, I don't think he's worried about offensive signals or defensive signals. I really do. He'll know the defensive signals, but, I just want to, it's a funny subject. I think you guys, it would help to just be educated, so you kind of wonder, like, the signals, what happens with signals? First of all, like, defensively, you can't steal an offensive signals because we have no time. We're busy getting our own signals. I hope our guys can get our signals. Do we think we're going to, are we going to signal our defense? Just think about this, how this works. Are we going to signal to our defense, and then tell them what the offensive play is? I mean, there's no time for that. Okay, our eyes are on our kids. So, signals. We could have their notebook. If I had their notebook sitting right here, which maybe I do. I don't know. Do I have his notebook? I don't know, Jerry. But I can have the notebook. That ain't going to help me win a football game. I can promise you that. Okay. And so defensively, your hands are tied. You can't steal signals. Okay. That's me. Maybe I'm just a dumb defensive coach. Okay. The way you can steal. Let's go to the other side of the ball. Our offense. Can our offense, like John Patrician's a defensive guy, can John Patrician give us their defensive signals and help us? How is Coach Whipple going to get that defense? There's a play clock too. It's not like they give us 2 minutes to take a snap. If that was the case, maybe we could. But how does? And again, maybe we're just all not very good coaches, and we haven't been thieves, I guess. But usually the people that are paranoid are the people stealing them, I guess. But how can we get a defensive signal out there? You guys help me out, help me out. But the people that steal signals, just so we're on the same page, are the teams. Okay, just watch this tomorrow. If our quarterback is up there and he goes like this, and then he looks to the sideline, maybe we got their signals, and now he's signaling and changing the play to get to a good play versus that defense. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? A little signal clinic. So, so that's it. So the team that looks to the sideline, they're doing it for a reason. They're trying to steal your coverage signals, whether it's your safety signal and stuff. It doesn't matter what it is. That's what you're trying to. The guys. Have you seen Kenny Pickett ever look to the sideline to get a second call? To me, when you watch a game tomorrow, there's a Thursday night game, people that look to the sideline usually are the ones stealing the signals. The people that don't look to the sideline are just running a play. Does that make sense? So it's just funny.
Why do you think he made such a big deal?
I don't know. Because whatever. I don't know.
How pervasive is that in college football, Pat, or is it mostly just kind of coaches' paranoia?
There's coaches' paranoia, and I'm paranoid. I'm not going to tell you I'm not paranoid. That we put a tarp up. Okay, we're all paranoid. You don't want anybody to do it, but you just don't. Like I said, sometimes you don't know. We don't know what we don't know. You don't know if it's happening or not. So I understand the paranoia, and again, we've had these things up. We actually put cards up just to block the box. Okay. The cards mean something sometimes. Sometimes they mean nothing. I don't know. We got to put Jerry's. Can you make sure we'll put Jerry's face on a card in the next couple of weeks? We'll get Jerry up there.
Jerry, send me your wedding photo.
But sometimes we put pictures up there that matter. Sometimes they don't. It all depends. But a lot of it is to just cover up our signals a little bit so that they can't see from the box. But you can steal them from the sideline. But again, I think that I'd say that I don't know how you're stealing signals for a defense. But on offense, I know signals are stolen, and it's the guys that will rush up. If a team is rushing to the ball and they're getting lined up real quick defensively, you just got to give them a call, right? You got to give them a So there's people try to keep you vanilla defensively because you don't have time to do something crazy as far as the call goes. So they keep you vanilla. You get lined up, and then they look to the sideline. They kind of get an idea of who signals because you got to signal real quick. Okay, they find out who the dummy guys is. We all have dummy signalers, but it's just hard to do.
There's a big discussion next door about who's going to wear the green dot on defense this week.
What's the green dot?
That's the radio in the helmet. Offense and defense, one guy gets to wear a radio in the helmet. They can talk to the sideline.
Ben will wear it.
Quarterback, and then you
Someone
can
on
pick
defense.
anybody on
So they don't know
defense.
who's wearing it?
No, they have a green dot on the helmet, so they know
Oh,
who
really?
it is. Yeah.
I
So
didn't know that.
would that make it easier if college football did the same thing, and then you
It
don't
would
have
make
to
it
worry
easier.
about signals?
I think it'd be, that's something NCAA football's got to do. I think it would be good for the offense. It'd be good for the defense. The signals are, because there are some signals that get stolen. I totally agree. Again, I think it's more defensive signals getting stolen because they control the tempo of the game. Defense doesn't control the tempo. We just if they get up on the line, we got to go get lined up. We don't know when they're going to, go. So
So he did have reason for changing because the offense can.
we can't though.
Well, defense can't, but the other side can.
we can't steal signals because we don't look to the sideline. Jerry, you're not following me. Jerry, we'll have a little tutorial. We'll
You're
go
staying
back.
after school.
But no, because we don't look to the sideline, I think you can steal people's defensive signals.
Yeah.
I think you could. But I think the only way you can do that is if you are looking to the sideline to get, if someone gets a hold of your defensive signals. Okay, we got our signals stolen back in 19 whatever. We're in Northern Illinois. We opened up at Northwestern. I find out afterwards, Jack Glowick, the D-line coach, is like, yeah, we had all your calls. I know who the guy was. Kevin Johns stole them, so it got stolen a long time ago. So I know it happens, but but at the time, Northwestern was a fast tempo, one of the first teams to go fast tempo. Kevin Wilson was the head coach, or excuse me, the offense coordinator. They tempoed you so they could get you to line up real quick, find out who the signaler guy is, and then they just kind of knew what you had going on from there. And then the D-line coach told me, he's like, we got you. That's kind of how he talks. We got your signals.
Isn't it easier just to run your offense?
It's easier for us. It's just, again, it would be if you're a fast tempo, get lined up real quick, pretend like you're going to snap the ball, see what they do, look to the sideline. That's kind of how you do it. Does that make sense? But if you don't look to the sideline, you're not stealing signals, I can promise you. And we haven't stolen signals because we don't do that. I'd like to do that. I think it's a great technique, but a lot goes to it.
You have run a little more tempo. How do you feel like that's been in addition to your offense?
Just mixing it up, I think, is a good thing. Get guys tired, can't sub. But I think it's been okay. We'll see. It only matters what you do Saturday, not what happened before. So tempo's got to be good.
It sounds like you're really challenging your team. You got Greg being challenged for to get Yak and Pine change positions, and the freshman to put aside being a freshman. You like putting a lot on their shoulders in a game like this?
It ain't on my shoulders. Our work is done during the week as coaches, but Saturday, the players, that's what they do. They want the pressure on themselves too now. Players play either good or bad in big games, so they want the pressure. Everybody wants the ball. Everybody wants to be the dude, so that's what we do.
Okay.
Okay.
Coach, thank you very much.